Oh, hey. Didn't see it there. Anyway, welcome to the first episode of The Coffee Shop. Tentatively titled, I guess. I don't know. But figured I'd jump back on. I want to thank everybody for making my last video about Kyle Larson, my most watched video. That was not a imposing number to beat, because most of these other videos that I do really don't ever get a lot of views and things like that. But I figured today we sit down, have a coffee, talk about a few things. We're going to talk a little bit more about the Larson situation, see where we go from there. But let's get into it. Alright, so shortly after it was actually a day after I recorded my last video, Kyle was released from his contract at Chip Ganassi Racing. Pretty much it was a no-win situation for him at all. He lost McDonald's as a sponsor, lost Credit One, but the thing is, he lost them as sponsors. Those people will still be there for Chip Ganassi Racing, which for me was the whole thing. I didn't want, to see Chip Ganassi Racing basically have to shutter because, of one person's, situation, and, they've just decided to end their working relationships with Kyle. But I'm not going to get back into that whole situation. It's over with now. It's in the past. We're almost a week removed. We're not going to beat that dead horse. But today I really do want to talk about what's next for him. So, a couple days ago we finally heard from Bubba Wallace, which I don't understand why we really needed to hear from Bubba. I get why we needed to, with him being the only African American in NASCAR top series. I don't want to say that there aren't other other members in the sport, other people. And I don't want to say that Bubba is the only African American in the sport of NASCAR, because he's not. But I felt like it was nice of him to actually say something about it, because I know a lot of people were wondering, well, how does Bubba feel about this? Because he and Kyle are pretty close. And, he explained that, he talked to Kyle face-to-face on FaceTime, as we can only do right now. And he basically just told him, get the word out of his lexicon, because that word came out too easily. And, I do want to thank a lot of the people that were in my mentions, and, that he even commented on the last video. They kind of brought me over to that side of where, hey, that probably wasn't the first time that he said it, and I understand that. But now is how you fix and rebuild and go from here. I don't see Kyle being in Sprint Cup in 2021. Maybe the Xfinity Series, maybe the Gander Mountain. I'm getting ready to call it Camping World Truck Series. Pretty much the same thing, but maybe in one of those series, probably with like a Thor Sport or a GMS Racing. But the only thing that kind of gets a little cloudy with GMS has working relationships with people like Hendrick, people like Chip Ganassi Racing. So there's not a clear path, honestly, and especially with Chevrolet dropping him, and that's where it gets cloudy again too. So you can pretty much eliminate GMS, because GMS, unless they do a switch to a Ford or a Toyota, there's no way out for Kyle to actually make a inroad back in. Because most of the lower tier sports, Chevrolet is the dominant brand, other than maybe in Xfinity, where it seems like more and more Toyota's providing more factory backing for teams, through TRD. So I don't know. what's going to be next for Cal. I do think we are going to see him in, the Cup Series. I think I called it Sprint Cup a while ago. Wow, that throws it back. I didn't even call it Monster Energy. I called it Sprint Cup. But no, I really don't see him in the Cup Series next year, unless he's willing to take a ride with, Rick Ware Racing, which, they've kind of somewhat started building their program up. We see about three or four of their cars a week. But the only issue is there is factory support, and I'm not sure. I know from time to time they switch manufacturers, like from Chevy to Ford. So I don't know, but it's gonna be a somewhat steep hill to climb. Because it's not like you can just say, "Oh, I lost all my sponsors. I still can at least drive for this, that, and the other." But when you lose an entire, manufacturer in the process of that, that's a little steeper hill to climb. And I kind of want to get out of the way of saying, people are saying, "Oh, you're out for blood, you're thirsty about it." I'm not even thirsty about it. I thought from moment one that he deserved a second chance. We've heard other YouTubers in the NASCAR community say the same thing in their videos, and even black YouTubers in the NASCAR community have all said the same thing. Kyle's gonna get a second chance, but it's just that sometimes you have to lose everything before you can, before you understand something. And it's not that he doesn't understand the thoughts of what he said, or the thought process of what he said, or what he shouldn't have said. The more I felt like in the beginning where I was saying, "Oh, he made a mistake," the longer it went on, it was like, "Oh, okay, he's probably used that word before." So, but that's enough. That's everything in the past now. So, yeah, but I'm gonna try to do more NASCAR videos, but I have a few ideas on what I want to do, but I just really have to do a little bit of research, and since I have nothing but time on my hand, we'll get into that research. But this leads me to my next topic. Alright, my next topic is this whole reopening the economy thing, and I know it's a touchy subject, but this isn't even going to be a political thing, so I don't even want to say that. But it's more of believe in science, people. Stop with conspiracy theories. Stop with, listening to the person that barely passed, 8th grade or, 9th grade chemistry. Just listen to what the World Health Organization is saying. Please, don't try to rush this. I know we're all hurting. There are people without jobs, people that have lost jobs, people that have had hours cut, people that have had to change their way of living because of this. But this is something we haven't seen in our lifetimes, or at least most of us haven't seen in our lifetime. But we cannot rush through this. Honestly, I just feel like we need to take every precaution that we can and continue to take care of ourselves. Don't go out if you don't have to go out. Like, I've been home for almost a month, and I can probably count on both hands how many times I've been out since. And that's just to go grocery shopping or get something to eat. And now with most places offering delivery that you didn't think were going to offer delivery, it's it makes it a little easier for you to stay home. But also at the same time, please take care of each other, because you have people that are working on the front lines, our nurses, our firemen, our police officers. Take care of those people, because they're out here doing a job that most of us can't do. the job that takes skill. They're in some places they're doing it without the protective covering that they need. You know, if you see a person struggling, and this is even just a neighbor or somebody that a friend, if they're wondering how they're gonna make ends meet because they lost their job, because they got furloughed, because you know, some dire situation. To me, I think it's always better to do what you can with what you have. If you're still able to get paid in this situation, like me, I'm lucky I'm still able to get paid, and then with the stimulus coming through, you know, I've, asked people if they needed help with it. Because if you have the capability to do that, kindness goes a long way. And I mean, some people are like, oh, well, yeah, that'll teach people to be leeches and, always ask for help or don't do anything or think that everything is made for them. Or, the second that you help them one time, that means you're going to do it forever. No. That doesn't matter. You know how to say no. And you know how to say no without feeling bad. The same time when you see a homeless person out on the street with a sign, and you lock all your windows so you don't have to roll it down to give them change or give them a sandwich that you're not going to eat. What makes you different in that regard? So that's why I say, just if you are possible and able to help help out in this situation, please do, because it reflects good on you as a person, I believe, and all about that. So, just keep doing what you have to do. And be safe while doing it. And wash your hands. That's the important thing. Last thing I wanted to talk about is the upcoming documentary on Sunday night. The Last Dance, that's what it is. About the Chicago Bulls' last three-peat. I'm excited about it because I was somewhat of a Bulls fan as a kid, only because I think I was more of a Michael Jordan fan. But it's gonna be exciting to see inside of that whole nucleus of that team, where it didn't, to us, where it looked like it was gonna be, or as kids, where you think that everything is as well as it's supposed to be out there, but it wasn't. And it actually made me realize something about Space Jam that's kind of funny. The main villain, not the Monstars, but their owner, he basically is based off of Jerry Krause, because they actually shared a 5-minute snippet at the beginning. So if you're 5 minutes late, just go on YouTube. You'll find the first 5 minutes of the documentary, which is going to span over 10 days. So we'll see how that goes. But he explained Jerry Krause as a person and how people felt like he was this short, fat, guy that was somewhat nerdy and somewhat, felt like he had been bullied all his life. And if he doesn't remind you of the guy from, the main villain from Space Jam, I don't know who. And I feel like that's what really enticed Michael into that. I'm sure they storyboarded with him, like, hey Mike, do you really want to base this off of someone, or you just want to make an animated movie? And I think they went with Jerry Krause. And I wonder how he felt about that, but maybe that's in the documentary too. I don't know. But so it's going to be exciting. Because, a lot of stuff was going on at that time, especially with, like, Dennis Rodman. So, I've heard Michael say that we're going to view him as a bad teammate, but if you listen to anybody that's played with Michael, we knew this a while ago. So, I'm excited. I've been a Michael Jordan fan pretty much all of my child to adult life. So, but yeah, so look out for that. We'll maybe do a review on that next couple days. So yeah. So if you enjoyed Coffee With, or Coffee Shop, or whatever we're gonna call this normally, just let me know, because I barely drink all my coffee, which is good because I don't want to have to poop later. When you turn like 25, every time you drink coffee after that moment results in poop. So don't let anybody tell you any different. If you're young and like 18 or 19 and watching this, enjoy your coffee without poop. But love that clonic. Anyway, thank you for watching. Thank you for the past week. Thank you for all the likes and subscribes and shares of the video. It meant the world to me. If you haven't already yourself, hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. You can hit the bell if you want to. It doesn't ring often, but enjoy it. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day, wonderful week, whenever you decide to watch this video. But anyway, thank you. I will catch you again soon. And this has been The Coffee Shop. Oh yeah, by the way, check this out.